Hi everybody, this is Father Moki Hino coming to you from the parish of Good Shepherd Episcopal Church here in Wailuku, Maui. This is the February 25th, 2021 edition of Chicken Chat. I'm joined this morning by Makani, Marcelino, Maysum, a couple of roosters, Harriet and Larry, Curly and Mo, and I think this is Hallelujah 3 over here. With that, I would like to say happy birthday this week to Michelle Akana, Chancellor Brown, Rianvian Pasqua, and Larry Adzwara. Happy birthday to all of you. We don't have any anniversaries this week, so we'll go on to our monthly Bible verse, which is on your Christmas card. Jesus told him, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me," and that is John 14:16, chapter 14, verse 16. At this time, let's take a moment of silence to remember those on our prayer list, and especially the 500,000 people in this country who have succumbed to the coronavirus. Amen. I am very, very pleased to report that A Cup of Cold Water went on a run last week, Wednesday, for the first time in several weeks. They served over 65 clients in the Wailuku area, and the folk who received the ministry were very, very grateful, and the folk who came back from the run were very, very excited about getting back into the swing of things. The Ka'ohana Kitchen last week, Santa Evangelista and her team from Kaiser were here. In addition to making beef stew, they were also making handmade masks for everyone, and they distributed them to the folk who came for the feeding. This coming week, the Agpo'on family, Rose Agpo'on and her family, will be here in the Ka'ohana Kitchen. The Queen Athletic Club, of course, is in full swing, and I do believe if you watch church this coming Sunday, they make an appearance and say thanks be to God at the end of the service. We are back to our Saturday afternoon worship here in the office courtyard. We had a wonderful, wonderful Eucharist, and it was so good to see everybody back together, and really, really wonderful to receive the bread and the wine, Holy Communion. And we will be back again this Saturday. Please know that if it rains during an outdoor service, we will go into the church sanctuary. We will not cancel, we'll go indoors to the church. Our virtual 7 o'clock a.m. Sunday service continues, but of course you don't have to get up at 7 a.m. and watch right away. You can watch anytime throughout the day. But know that I get up at 7 and watch and participate and interact with folk via the chat on Facebook. We are planning now for Holy Week, and we'll have more information for you after we decide whether or not we're going to open up the church sanctuary for in-person worship. The worship committee will be meeting on the 6th of March, and we should have some word to you after that. I am, of course, disappointed that the numbers have risen again here in Maui, but frankly not surprised. I think we were expecting that after the Super Bowl. So there we go. I do hope that the cases will go back down in the very near future so that we can all get back into church. And once again, I thank you all for your patience and understanding. We do have a number of Lent offerings for you. On Tuesday at 4 o'clock, we do have centering prayer via Zoom. And we're looking at the book, The 7 Last Words by Father James Martin. And we have found a way to flash the pages up on the screen, so if you do not have the book, you can still fully participate by clicking on the Zoom link at 4 o'clock on Tuesdays. We had our first session yesterday, and it was amazing. A really, really good discussion and a very, very powerful time of prayer afterwards. Wednesdays, we will be continuing the Anglican Rosary. Let's see, I think I have a booklet to show you. Yeah, we have created this booklet so you can follow along. And if you don't have the actual Anglican Rosary itself, that's no problem, because in the booklet we provide, we give you a picture of an Anglican Rosary, and I shouldn't hide my face like that. So we give you a picture of the Anglican Rosary that you can tick off the beads as we go along, if that's something that would be helpful to you. On Friday at noon, we will continue our Stations of the Cross on YouTube and Facebook. So simply all you have to do is go on at 12 noon and find the Stations of the Cross on YouTube or the church's Facebook page, and you'll be all set to go. I've gotten a lot of feedback about the Stations of the Cross from many of you, expressing your appreciation of being able to see and experience the Holy Land without actually having to go there. We do still have a few Lenten gardens. If anyone would like to have one, please let us know or come to the office and pick one up. And we have a lot of Stations of the Cross booklets, so please feel free to come by and pick one up. I was away on Monday and yesterday morning out in Hana, and managed to find a nice venue to deliver this Sunday sermon to all of you. So please stay tuned. I will say that it was quite fun making that drive to Hana. I've done it a couple times before, but many years ago, and enjoyed it just as much this time, maybe even more, because I was in a nice car. So anyway, with that, we do have a number of people in the prayer. Oh, I've got to fix my mic. In the diocesan cycle of prayer, we will be praying for Christ Church in Kealakekua on the Big Island, and their vicar and his wife. Very interesting that Christ Church Kealakekua is a historic church. It was established by Queen Emma, and it is the first Anglican church that was built in the Hawaiian Islands. So a very, very historic place. Also, in the Anglican cycle of prayer, we have several people for whom, oh, I seem to have little saltine cracker crumbs on my pant leg. I wonder how those got there. Amazing what can happen when you're doing chicken chat. We have a number of folk in the Anglican cycle of prayer. The first is David of Wales. And what I find so interesting about David of Wales is that he, many Christians were persecuted in the 500s in Britain, and so they hid out in monasteries, and because there were no real cities or urban centers at that time, the monasteries became the center of culture, and David was in one of these monasteries and eventually became the Bishop of Wales and is considered the patron saint of Wales. There's a wonderful book along those lines by Thomas Cahill called How the Irish Saved Civilization, and I commend that to you if you ever want a good read. It's fascinating. If it weren't for the monks in the monasteries, tediously recording things, we would have lost a lot of our history. And so David Wales was kind of part of that dynamic. So very, very interesting to take a look at and learn about. Then we have Chad, the Bishop of Lichfield. Let's see, what can I say about Chad? He was the Bishop of Lichfield. Then, of course, we have John and Charles Wesley. Of course, now we know John and Charles Wesley because of all the wonderful hymns that they wrote. They were very, very committed to the Church of England and very, very stern about following the Book of Common Prayers, and they were given the nickname because they were so they were very concerned about method and doing things right according to the rubrics of the Book of Common Prayer, and so they were given the nickname the Methodists. And so eventually, in an effort to stay true to that cause, formed the Methodist Church. Then we have Paul Cuffey. He's kind of a neat guy. He went out and ministered to Native American populations in the 1800s, and given who we've got up being confirmed for Secretary of the Interior in 2021, I think that we can see some of the effects of his ministrations. Then we have William Mayo and Charles F. Menninger and their sons, pioneers in medicine. Okay, now William Mayo, of course, you know, established the Mayo Clinic, and Charles Menninger, what he did was they established the Menninger Foundation, and they were the first group of people to really study psychiatry and psychology as a discipline, a medical discipline. And so we have them to thank for all of our mental health in this day and age. Finally, everybody, the moment that you have been waiting for. Our chicken of the week this week is Ping Pong. Ping Pong sits in the churchyard and watches everything. His head goes to the left, and then his head goes to the right, and then his head goes to the left, and then his head goes to the right, and he's surveying everything on the church grounds and watching over it, and is very concerned about the life of the church, and it's like he's watching a ping pong match. So for his diligence and for his care for and attention to details and for his keen ability of observation, we name as the chicken of the week Ping Pong. Congratulations to you, Ping Pong. And with that, I will leave you. God bless you all, and we will see you next week.